Right. I've been promising during this Kickstarter that I'm going to actually do a gameplay demo and show you how the rules work. So here it is with the Guildford show, and I thought I would just play this one out and just play a turn or two and show you how the game works. So the first thing we've got this poor little engineer. He's been wandering out on his own, and he's wanting to get home. Sadly, an army of militia have come out and helped to find him, drag him home. But in the meantime, we've had the Devanu who turned up, and they are hungry. So the objective of this particular scenario is to get this little guy through the door, and these guys are eat the engineer, and then get off the board again. So the game itself works on an initiative basis. So in the game you get 6 of each colour stone. So these are the new initiative stones, and one of the things from the Kickstarter is I've been able to do these in resin. And you have 6 in white, 6 in black, and 2 special combat stones. So I'm playing the black as the Empire, white as the Devanu, and these are the combat stones. So these will go into a bag. You then shake them up, and at the start of a turn you draw 1 stone out. White. That means the Devanu get to go first.
Yep.
So, the Devanu are very fast, and they can get pretty much anywhere. You've got the Semper here. I'm using a Copa model just for confusion, and 3 Grishak. In your turn, you can activate 1 model once this is drawn, and that can be, you could activate, for example, 1 Grishak, or you can activate a Semper, for example, who can then activate several other models. So she can activate a Grishak, you can activate other Grishak, so the whole lot can move in one go. So the Semper can move 10 inches, so she can pretty much get anywhere on the board that she wants to. So, in this situation, actually, she's going to wait, see what everybody does, and then have another go. So she's going to pass and not move. Black. Now the Empire moves. First things first, get the Knights into position. This guy is going to charge in and try to take out a Grishak. All the movement happens in one go, and you later on, the combat happens when a combat stone is drawn, except for some special actions. These guys move down here, they can move 10 inches each. Now I can get to move the rest of the Empire forces up. All these guys can move 6 inches each. Right, so we've got a captain and 5 militia.
Don't explain how you activated them all.
Activations. Yeah. The way activations work is you'll choose 1 model to activate. I'll have to do that here.
What? Just doesn't matter.
You choose 1 model to activate, which would be, for example, the captain. So he can then activate a certain number of models that are within his command range. So his command range is 6 inches, and he can activate up to 8 models. So he activated, and then activated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who are all within 6 inches of him. So then they could all, once you've activated them all, they all then get to move. Right, so at that point, the Empire's finished moving, but we still carry on going. Now it's time for the Devanu to do something. She can activate up to 2 beasts within 12 inches. They're all comfortably there, so she can activate them, and each Grishak can then activate up to 1 other Grishak, so the Semper on her own can activate an entire pack of Grishak. Now they're all going to activate, and now I can move them individually. The thing about Grishak is they're very good at charging, so they can basically move up to, they're very fast, they can move up to 12 inches, so they can charge straight in and pick somebody to attack. Normally you'd have to wait for the combat phase, but they have a special ability called charge, which means they can fight immediately. So now for a combat phase, we've got a willing volunteer hopefully. So what we get is we have these, which are combat stones. There are 2 types. You've got the spiky ones for attack, and you've got the sort of straight ones for defense. You'll get to roll a certain number of stones depending on the abilities of on the stats of your character. Grishak normally only get 2 stones, so they're very average. Militia also get to roll 2 stones. The nice thing about Grishak is when they charge, they roll 2 extra stones. So I can now choose 4 stones, and you get to choose 2. You can choose to either be really aggressive and try and take him out with you, or you can be defensive and try not to die. So the selection of stones is one of the key tactics of the game. You're wanting to try and choose the right number of, choose whether to be aggressive, whether to be defensive, and you choose secretly so your opponent doesn't see. I'm going to choose very secretly, and I'm going to go for a mix of attack and defense in a very overly cautious fashion. Put them into a thing, and you both do this at the same time, pick them up, and cast them. Alright. The Empire guys roll 1 attack, I've rolled 1 defense, so those cancel out, and that leaves me 2 attacks. So for rolling defense or rolling for your armor saves, you roll 2 dice, 1 for each hit, and you need to roll a 5 or more on both sides, otherwise he's dead. Lucky guy survives. There's a very smug expression you can't see on the other end of the camera here. So, now I get to move the next model. This little guy is incapable of charging because he's engaged in combat, but he's a bit scared of this big knight, so he's going to run away in a cowardly fashion. This one is going to run up through here. You can actually move over your own models, and he's going to engage this knight. It's a bit of a more dangerous attack. So, the knights roll 3 stones, and they have some nice recasting abilities, so you can choose whether you want to try and what sort of ability you want. Again, I get to roll some, choose my stones. So once we've both selected our stones, we cast them at the same time. I put it in Grishak in space. Alright, so he's got 1 defense, my Grishak has got 2 attacks. So at the moment, that's going to get cancelled by that one, so I'm going to get 1 attack through. But, now this is the special thing that knights get to do. He can immediately recast up to 2 stones of your choice, which oddly enough would be the fails. So you cast them again. Keep that one. That's much better. So now he's got 2 defense, which cancels out my 2 attacks, and he gets an attack through. So that's definitely turned the tide. My poor little Grishak now has to roll a defense. Grishak also roll a 4+ to save. Alright, we're all being lucky on saves so far, and he's also survived. Right, finally, this is the Semper. She's quite, she's a real beast in combat. She gets to roll an awful lot. She rolls 5 combat stones. She's got 4 stamina, which she can use for various abilities. We've not described those yet, so now's a good time to do it. So, her standard movement is only 8 inches, so a bit slower than Grishak can move 12. But what she can do, she can run around here, you can move over your own model, so she comes over here. She can then use an ability called Sprint. It costs 1 stamina, and she gets to move an extra 6 inches. So she jumps in, which is 5 inches, sorry. She jumps into there, and now, since she's in combat, she's got a second ability that she can use, which is Assassinate. Spend 1 more stamina, which is much like the Grishak attack, but she's got to pay stamina for it. Stamina is a very precious resource. You get 1 back each turn. So if you burn it all, then she's very weak. But while she's stamina, she's an absolute beast in combat. So she's going to attack this guy. She gets her 5 stones, he gets his 3.
Stuff that's in casting at the moment, just coming back.
Alright, so we both cast stones at the same time again. Oh, okay. So, the knight has rolled 1 attack and 1 defense. My Semper's rolled 2 attacks, 2 defense. At the moment, comfortably blocks an attack, and has got 2 extra blows going in there. So now it's, you can now recast your stone as before.
Just the one.
Just the one. You've cast 2, but they've already succeeded. No luck there. So he's now out of luck. He's got 2 attacks. I could use some abilities to make him recast stones, recast them in mine, but to be honest, I'm quite happy where it is. So now you make 2 saves on a 4+.
Yeah, most
Right, every single time you fail...
One save.
Pardon?
One save.
One save. But sadly that's not enough, because as soon as you take a wound, you're dead. So he's just been eaten. That's a good start for the Divani. If I wanted to, with her now, I could now move again, even attack again. But I'm going to cut my losses, cut things there and say, right, I'm happy for this turn.
Sort of character. Yeah, the scare.
I think that's everything, isn't it? Yep, so that's the turnover. Next. So, we could continue drawing stones, but both go, actually we're done, call it a day, and skip to the next, so we can skip through these very quickly. That one. That one.
A lot of beasts are.
I think there are some red ones in here.
We have these guys,
they're red
and unbridled.
Currently not very good colour distinction between them. But the red one means that we immediately fight a combat. Everybody who's engaged in combat will now fight. The initiative is whoever drew the stone last. So you've got the initiative, and that means you can choose any combat you want to do. So you choose one combat, then I'll choose combat, and we'll basically go until everybody's fought. Face to face to engage. So, do you want to, it makes no difference this time apart from... So, whereas previously my Grishak really had the advantage, now you've just got Grishak rolls 2 stones, and the militia casts 2 stones, nothing else is really special about it.
Right. I can see the links because we've got
I'm going for defensive this time to try and survive.
Trader characters and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, now he's choosing his stones. I probably shouldn't have shown that quite so obviously. And here we go. 1 attack from militia, 1 defense, no special abilities to use, he's fine. This one here, he's now going to attack him. I'm in a bit of a precarious position here because he's got a lot more stones to roll than I have. Got 1 more, but he's got his abilities.
I wasn't aware that it was taken from a book. The quality of the program.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
You've got 3 stones, and I've just got 2.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to just activate 1 Grishak this time, who's going to try and keep this knight out of the game. So that's the knight captain, he's your most powerful combat. He charges into there, and so now I get to roll 4 stones, you get 4 as well.
There's a lot of
anything that particularly catches your eye toward the end of the day.
He's also got 2 stamina, so you've got some abilities which I'll explain to you.
As I say, the little ones, these...
Alright, 2 attacks, 2 defense, so this is not going to work out well.
£6 for the pound.
You can recast that one for free, the same combat trained ability.
These are all metal ones, yeah?
Oh yeah, they're all
So 2 attack, I got to make 1 save.
resin ones are these down here.
4, that's fine, I survive. Next. Me again.
No, they're separate pieces.
I am going to
mould that complex with separate pieces.
take this Grishak out of combat, because basically if he's in combat he's in a bit of a precarious position. He's going to come around here to get us
and everything, and
I'm going to wait.
oh yes, they really have been.
Back. Now it's your go.
It's cast,
Do you want me to give you advice on what to do now? So, firstly, you've got this little engineer who's been carrying this very experimental little blunderbuss around. What he can do,
Most of these
got nice little templates, which we're looking at getting part of the Kickstarter. He can fire his blunderbuss. It's called the Derrak in the game. And that means he stands still, he fires that. He gets to roll normally 3 stones.
to add.
Because it's completely under the template, he gets to roll an extra stone for full blast. So you get 4 stones, all attacks. Normally you get 2 defense. I get an extra 1 because I'm agile.
Sorry, I forget the name. Yes.
So,
They're good for painters apparently.
sorry? That's what's referred to as bad starting point. At the moment, I'm going to get hit twice, and Divani do not like getting hit. They're very successful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a special ability called Evade, and +1 stamina. Reroll all of those, please. It allows me to recast all the stones, whether they're success or failures.
The painted ones in the painting.
And that's another 4 attacks. One more. Let's see if this works. Yes, please.
Whatever colour you want. It's not wrong.
People decide they're blue and take to the blue. So.
Okay, so at this point I'm going to use my last stone. I have one other trick up my sleeve, which I can just turn that over. I can turn over 1 stone and make a thing. I survived that, but this is not looking good. What we should have said before doing any of that is your activation. You could just activate the engineer, but in that situation what you should have done would activate the captain. The captain can then activate up to 8 models, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 8, and they can all activate. So he's activated first, he's done. You can now activate him, or any of these. There's a nice ability he's got called Combined Coordinated Strike. Basically he can move in, move everybody else in first. Yeah, she's in trouble. He can then walk straight up there, spend 1 stamina and use a combined coordinated strike. And then basically he's got his 3 stones normally, which is not very good against the Devanu. But he then gets 1 extra one for every friendly troop in the combat. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stones. You can roll up to 6 attacks. I'm in a bit of, definitely not in a good situation here.
I'd say we need
7 in total. Alright. I need some good luck here, which I haven't quite had. So 3 attacks. You can now immediately use your combat trained to recast 2 of those of your choice. And that's another attack. So now I've got 2 saves to make, no other tricks in my sleeve. The Devanu are quite weak, they've got to roll a 5+ to not die, so it's a bit doomed. Yeah, saved 1 gone, she is a goner. And that's victory to the Empire, and he gets to go home safe, which is pretty good. So that pretty much concludes it. We haven't really explained, normally when you're fighting combats you can have support from troops, so during combat phases, which basically means every model has a support stat. So when you're fighting a combat normally you declare who's attacking and everybody else can support if they wish to, and that would give you extra stones, very similar to Coordinated Strike. And that's probably a good example for the moment.